Okay, maybe. And we are live. We are here with the one and only Jamie Odom, who is a Spitbox winner this year. But I mean, she's a veteran. She's written dozens. Oh, wait, no, it's your first book, right? And you won Spitbo with it. Not just at all.
What do you do from there?
What do I do from the, keep writing.
Encore?
It's a trilogy. So thankfully I already had the second one in the barrel. And I'm working on the third one right now. So hopefully the idea is that if the first one gets the recognition, then people continue through the series. So,
but are you ever going to do Spitbo again with another book? I mean, you can only, equal what you did this time.
Yeah, no, I think good. Let someone else take a turn, because honestly, I don't think I can. Not only did I get to win it, and even that, as we it was a tie, and it had to be. But on top of that, I'm now getting to be in this championship round, so I feel like I got double. I got more luck than I deserved. So at this point, I'm just going to take it and run, and somebody else can go next time.
So anybody who's watching, that's Jamie's tip for starting out on your self-publishing journey, is to just win, and then everybody will read all the ones that follow up. So that's all you have to do. Easy.
So simple. So easy.
Why didn't you do that, Mike? What the hell?
I was in Spitbo for almost a couple weeks before they cut mine.
Well,
so
you were in it for a couple of weeks because they hadn't started judging yet. If you start the clock when the judging started, you were in it for a couple of minutes.
Hey, and that's where the luck comes in, though, because I could have so easily been with a judge who was like, no, thank you. And I would have been gone in 10 seconds. But I got a judge that liked it.
What, did you pay EL or something?
Oh, I did see he left a review for my book recently, and I was very thankful.
Wow.
So we have Phil is here. Phil, I think he's new.
I have a big family. A bunch of them are watching right now, so you may get several foreign comments.
All of Jamie's family, what we need you to do, and we don't care if you ever watch the show again, go and click subscribe, because it makes Mike and I feel better, because we have no life, and we live kind of vicariously through that kind of nonsense. So and like the video and leave comments, and don't unsubscribe. You never have to watch it again. We don't care. But there we go. Anyway, so are you in Oklahoma right now?
I actually am in Oklahoma right now.
I'm very, very sorry.
I'm visiting my family. Not all my family, but the vast majority is in Oklahoma. So that's where hold on, my screen is messing up. The vast majority of my family is in Oklahoma. So whenever we for Christmas and if we're on leave, that's where we go.
So EL thinks your book was okay, I guess.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
And he won't hold Oklahoma against you, apparently. So there's that. So.
Okay. Hey, you can't win them all. That's fine. I'll live.
Dan says make them pay you to subscribe like they do. Yeah, but nobody else does foot videos, Dan. So we're out there. Sorry. He's a little strange like that, is Dan.
More than
Speaking of a little strange, you were a Marine.
Yes. I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years.
I have to ask this. What's your favorite flavor of crayon?
Well, I have to say, I'll go with my oldest kid's favorite color is red, so it's got to be red. Bright.
Okay,
and also
so it's kind of like a cherry strawberry kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. No, I love Marines. Marines are great. I'm glad there are Marines, which means the Air Force we can do our thing, and
you've got somebody to make fun of. You got somebody to yell at. I know.
It's all good.
And just so you know, Dan M is my brother, and he was in the Navy not once but 2 separate times, because bad choices abound.
Because he made a bad decision twice. All right. So so what EL says here, how much did what you did in the Marines, how did that kind of impact how you looked at your story world?
So much. I mean, probably in a lot of ways that I didn't realize, because at the time I joined when I was 18. and I was deploying from 2007 to 2009. I did a couple deployments to Iraq, and I was writing the books in old versions that eventually got revised, but the original versions of the book, all 3 books, I wrote over the course of my time in the military. And so a lot of the things that are in there were just day-to-day things, like the other Marines that I was serving with, the things about the command structure and the battalion that I was in and the deployments I was on and the work I did as a linguist and translating and interpretation. So those are some things that are very obviously in the story. And but I think there are a lot of other things, like just these minute cultural interactions that I would be in a strange position to observe, again, as a translator. And also on top of that, then even having siblings and family members who were also in the military but had different jobs and different experiences. And so kind of that was the milieu that I was in, like family members, myself, so many different people in the military, that it seemed very normal to me. And then when I got out of the military, I realized that a lot of my experiences were very foreign to other people, and that in fact I had experienced something a little outside the norm. And so that was when it dawned on me that a lot of the things that I had put into the story naturally and without really thinking about it were not necessarily normal to everyone's experience.
And I think a lot of people who, when they read books or see movies, they just they don't even think about it, right? But when you watch movies, especially military movies, you probably pick all that stuff up right away and go, "Oh my God, what the hell are they thinking?" You know. So Mike has a person in his new book with a uniform, and I looked at it right away and said his name tag's on the wrong side.
Yes, little things,
right? It's
details.
You're going to pick that up right away, and it's going to be like, that's a non-starter. I mean, just there are things that you'll say okay to, but there are other things that are not. And having that kind of experience, especially over in those places, it makes all the difference in the world. I mean, I don't think Americans travel enough, honestly, to really get a good idea. So many Americans have this very kind of, I guess the term is American exceptionalism, right? But they haven't seen that there are some other pretty exceptional places out there too. And that people are people pretty much I mean, yeah, there are bad people, right? But there are bad people here.
Yeah. Well, and I have in addition to the military, I have a lot of people in my family who have lived and worked overseas. So those kinds of things are something we actually talk about a lot, where you have these really jarring experiences where you are in a different culture and you guys do not agree about how to do things. You have to learn how to deal with that. And, you know, it's something that I think about a lot, and I definitely put that in the story as well.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly helps when you're trying to write a different culture to your main character or whatever it is, or just something different, to have some of those experiences to kind of glom onto a little bit and make it more believable that they do have different customs and holidays and food and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it's nice to have, like, I mean, when you're writing fantasy, you can do whatever you want, but it's always good, even if it's just even if the author's the only one who knows about it, to have those touchstones of reality. So even if the reader might not quite know where those came from or what they really mean, to know that, no, this came from a real experience and I'm just turning it into a fantasy scenario, but it's those who've experienced it and those who've been there, they're going to see it and they're going to relate to it.
So why did you start writing to begin with? Because you said you've been working on this for a few years while you were deployed, and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, and also, were you writing it like longhand in notebooks, or?
I did all kinds of, I mean, I did actually have my computer with me on my deployments. That thing was so full of dust. I am amazed that it survived 2 deployments. But I started actually a very unrecognizable version of this story way back in high school, but then I kept, giving up on it. I'd get so far and then I'd be like, forget about it. And then a few years later, I'd get so far and then give up on it. But the time I started writing it and completed it to the end was during my time of service. I actually finished it shortly after I got out of the Marine Corps. And the thing, it just was the story. I was just thinking about it all the time. I just couldn't stop thinking about it. And I would never say, oh, and it just flowed out of me. It was so easy. I had to work on it. It was sometimes a slog. And I had to tell myself that I wanted to finish this story at times. But at the same time, it was not walking away from me. Like no matter what I did, I was hearing the story in the back of my mind all the time and ruminating on it and getting to know the characters. Even when I was not in a position to write, I was still thinking about it, and I'd been thinking about it for years. So at this point, I've been thinking about this story for like 2 decades. So
did they try to give you Motrin for that? I mean, you know,
that's the only solution there is to anything.
That's right. Take some vitamin M. You'll be fine. You'll forget about it. It'll be okay.
All problems.
So, Jamie, I have to tell you, if you want to just really wow me, then in your story, have language like in the Southern dialect is different from and just because that is one thing I wish I've tried try to get into linguistics, and then I see terms like fricative and I'm like, okay, I'm out. I don't know what that is. Don't care. So I'd love to know, and I try and I'm like, no, I don't have that much patience, and I quit. But so whenever you have stuff like that, I am in. I'm like, oh my God, this person is a genius, like Stephen Hawking level genius, because they know this stuff.
But I didn't create languages. I just talked about them existing. I didn't actually Tolkien the thing and make them up.
Right. That would have been such a good use of your 20 years. Come on.
I know.
You have shortchanged us. I'm not reading this damn thing.
I'm sorry, I didn't do it.
So, I mean, that, and just like you said, being in the military, the different cultures and how they interact and how they see each, and I thought that was masterful. I was like, man, this is good. When I was I really loved your book. It's one of my top 3 of the year. So
thank you so much.
So you can only go down from here. This is what I'm trying to say.
Did you try to like agent this thing out and get it?
Yeah, I actually.
How was that process?
So on the first go round, after I'd done a couple revisions with a friend of mine, I shopped it out to some agents, and it actually ended up winning like this little. I put it in for a blog contest, ironically enough, and an agent like bid for my manuscript, and they read it, and I got the agent, and so I had the agent for a few years, and we did some revisions, and we shopped it out to all the different houses. And the first go round, it did not get picked up, although I had some beautiful feedback from some of the editors that, I mean, literally I printed out and I keep it, because I was like, they said some beautiful things. It just wasn't right for their thing at the time, but they gave really meaningful, detailed feedback that I cherish to this day. And I got great feedback and input from my agent as well. She absolutely helped improve the manuscript significantly, but it didn't get picked up. So we were like, well, we'll wait on that. And then later I just couldn't let it go. So I went back and did another big revision. And then I felt sure. I was like, actually, this is how it was supposed to be from the beginning. I just know it. So I brought it to my agent, and she's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's try again. But then, she had life things go on, and she ended up leaving her agency and quitting agenting. So then I was left with this beautiful manuscript in my hands that I knew was ready, really, really ready. And I had no agent. And then we had a little like sort of regular life interval where, we had twins and other things happened. So I didn't do anything for a while. But then after a few years, I was like, let's try the self-publishing thing. I know it's been through the ringer. I know it's had the critical feedback. It's had the industry feedback. It's been beaten to a pulp, and it's survived. Let's give it a shot.
So when was the first version of this that you said, it's done? When was that? And when was the version that you actually published that won the Smith Bill?
So I finished writing all 3 books in a row, and I think I finished that draft. It would had to have been like 2011 maybe, when I actually finished those, 2010 or 2011. But I did end up doing revisions. Like that's when the story was done, and I'm like, this is actually the thing. This isn't something I'm going to go a completely different direction, and whatever it ends up being, this is the story. But I knew it needed revisions. And but so there were several times where I was like, I think I'm there, but that last revision I did while I still had an agent, that was the one. That was like, it didn't get touched except for like copy editing. After that, it was done. And so that was like multiple drafts.
What do you do for work now? And this is going back to what you were just saying. This isn't just a really bad segue.
I'm a stay-at-home mom. I have 5 kids and I homeschool. So that is
so you work harder than anybody else.
Sometimes it feels that way. Actually, my husband works very hard because he goes and works very hard, and then he comes home and he's the fun parent and he plays.
So is your husband around?
Split pretty evenly.
Is he around in hearing distance?
He is watching this with my kids at my parents' house.
Okay. Is his last name Odom as well?
No.
Okay. What's his name?
That's my pen name.
What's his name? First name? I don't care.
Phil. That's all I can give you.
Listen to me, Phil. I'm only going to say this once. I don't have cartoons, so you're just going to have to trust me. When people ask, what does your wife do? You do not, or they ask her if she has a job, because people will ask you if your wife has a job. You say yes. Okay? You never, ever
trouble
say no.
For this once or something.
What's that? Yeah, well, I'm just saying, if you do this, and especially if you do it around other couples, all the other guys will hate you, but their spouses will love you. So that's your good information for the day. Okay, so where I was going with that. I don't, Tim. I have medication. I'm good.
He has a wife that works harder than he does.
The bar is not high. So when you sit down to write, how you find time to sit down to write is kind of something you can cover. How much do you put out at any one time, and how can you go back and revisit the same book multiple times for major reasons? I think I would have to probably slam my head in a toilet seat before I could do that more than once or twice.
I totally get that. But I only feel that way if I haven't got the scene to where I love it yet. So if I'm reading through it and I'm like, oh, this is such drudgery, then I know that the scene isn't what I need it to be, because if I've written it the way I want to, I love it. I enjoy it. I am like enticed by my own story, which sounds a little bit egotistical, but that's the whole point. If I can get it to where I still love it and I can reread it the same way I reread my other favorite books, then I know I've got there. But my regular output is pretty low. I'm a slow writer, and I'm a very I have to think. I like cadence and rhythm, so I read out loud a lot because I don't want it to just say what I want it to say or even have nice prose. I want it to taste nice in my mouth when I say it out loud. So in that way, I'm slow. But if I'm on a roll and I'm, very consistent, I can get between 500 and 700 words a day. If I'm on a roll and I'm not stuck in a difficult scene that is killing me.
So you have audiobooks?
Yes, I do have audiobooks. I have both of the ones that have been published by Blood by Salt and Haunt for Jackals have audiobooks available already.
Do you narrate yourself?
No, I don't actually. Narrator is another military guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
He must absolutely love the time and care you take in your writing, because I'm assuming it probably doesn't need a whole lot of editing to be read for audio purposes.
Yeah, he has his method that he did, which he showed me. That this was like a miraculous situation. He worked with my husband, and my husband's like, one of my guys, he does audiobook narration and professional narration. Would you be interested in talking to him about that? And I just walked down the street to his house and looked at it, and we were able to very collaborate and work together, and it was phenomenal. His name's Micah, and he's amazing. He did such a good job. But he would break it down and show me how he was going to do his character voices and how he's going to do all that. And he just needed the manuscripts. That's all he needed.
This is an odd question for you, but can you talk to Mike and put him in touch with our Mike? Because I think that would be really interesting to talk to someone.
I will absolutely
get him on the show to explain how writers can best prep their stuff for a voice artist.
Okay, I will absolutely message him. I mean, I have no idea if he's going to be available, but I will message him. And if he's interested, that would be super cool because it was a huge learning experience for me. Because I thought I would maybe, I was like, maybe I'll just use his studio and narrate myself. But then when he started talking about it, I was like, oh, this is way out of my, like, way over my head. Like the complexity of giving these little nuances to all the different characters and of like nailing the emotions and the tones, and it's so complex, way more than I thought. So
go ahead,
so I was going to tell you, I have 3 books of mine are done on audiobook, and the guy I have, he's a theater actor in England.
Oh, nice.
And I'm the one time he's like, well, this character here, what kind of accent do you want me to give him? I'm like, oh no, it's the same character from book 1. He's just, he's back at home and they call him this. He goes, oh, I have him down as a Southern Welsh accent. And I'm like, they all just sound British to me. Okay. I mean, they all sound distinct, but I'm like, never in a million years could I be like, oh, yes, that sounds Southern Welsh to me. So, yeah, I mean, if you get people who actually perform the work instead of just reading it, oh, my God, it's amazing.
I will say everybody is sitting here being so glowing towards you. Totally earned, first book, Spitbo X, blah, blah, blah. But I am going to, I'm going to throw a wrench in this and say that you have not earned your indie stripes yet because you have 2 books and not a single 1-star rating yet.
I do. I have a 1-star rating. It's not a review. They didn't say why. And I'm not upset about it, so I'm not calling anybody out. But I did
no, you gotta have the review. You gotta have the stupid words.
I got my first 1-star rating, and I actually felt like that makes me legit now, right?
I don't. I'm on Amazon. I don't see it.
Oh, it's not on Amazon. It's on Goodreads, and it's just I don't even remember.
Goodreads. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a 1-star on Amazon yet. I'll get one. It'll happen. You know it'll happen.
So are you wide? Because I see that you're on Kobo as well.
Yes, I decided to do that because I wanted people, and I know a lot of people are like, wow, I'm frustrated with Amazon or something. So I'm like, you know what? I want to make sure that anyone who's like feeling like they don't want to use that doesn't have to use it. So although of course most of the sales are on Amazon. So, but Kobo actually is probably my next one.
So I went wide this year for like the first almost 6 months. And I think I was averaging 1 sale. So I was like, you know what? I average like 2 sales a month on Amazon. So I might as well go back and get the KU page reads.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's amazing to like, I know for especially for indie authors, those page reads are a big deal and really help get the word out there because people at least are willing to give it a try and see what happens.
Yeah.
How do you fall on the giving your stuff away?
You mean like doing free promos and things like that? I've done that. I think we've done a couple sales and I gave away ARCs and did book sirens, which anybody could go get it off book sirens who wanted to. So I do it that way, but I mean, I don't know. I don't have like a strict policy of how, when, or where I do any of these things. I am still learning.
Are you still kind of more in the I'm just going to write and not worry about the marketing aspect of it as much?
I would so do that. But luckily, well, my husband is very attentive to these details. So he helps me with that side of things a lot because I'm still very uncertain. Like, he helps me with figuring out how to make my website look more professional and like how to do different marketing things. And he's testing out different marketing things. So he has actually been the one to do most of that for me, which I'm thankful for because it is not my strong suit. And I think that's probably the case for a lot of indie authors where it's like, I just want to write, man. I don't know how to market. I don't know how to like pitch or how to do this or that. I just want to write. And then I want to enjoy people who enjoying my book, but that's not how it works.
So my first book came out almost exactly 4 years ago. I published on the 4th of July. And I always tell people, then I called my brother and doubled the number of people in the world who knew that I published a book because that was my launch. And so now 4 years, I have almost 3,000 sales for all of my books, and I've given away 18,000.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got a fair number of reviews, but, I don't know if it makes sense or not, but that's what I'm doing.
I know it's because at the end of the day, you're just hoping even if you like do one of those giveaways and like it's 300, 400, if one of those people love it and they tell their friends, then that's what you want. That's what you're hoping for.
And we can never have Dave Lawson on the show again if he's going to say insane things like this.
Yeah, it is not.
Marketing is kind of fun if you're doing it for somebody else's stuff. It's
Yeah, maybe if it's not your, because maybe I'm too emotionally tied into it. Because for me, I'm just like, I can handle like the reviews thing is, some people talk about getting too emotional about reviews. That actually isn't the hard part for me, but just feeling like I have to, pitch or push or sell something that is actually like that I want to connect on like a soul level. It just starts to feel like, how do you do that in a way that feels natural and, not like you're, I don't know, a robot or something. I don't know. I just don't know how to do it.
Well, go to a show and take a couple of your kids with you and have them hanging on you and say, please buy my book.
Buy my book.
So I can just, lock the door and write. Much rather market my own stuff than someone else's.
Well, because I guess you know it better.
You can market mine, Tim. How about that?
But I do not enjoy it.
So, what do you do? Shows or anything? Or do you do any in-person kind of stuff?
I haven't. I did one. When we were stationed at Fort Irwin, there was like a shop there that they would sell like cool trinkets and homemade things, and they also sold books. So I talked to the owner there and we did a book signing at her shop. So that's the only in-person event I've ever done. I think I would do more in the future, but logistics are sometimes a bit of a challenge because it's got to be the right time and we have to, I haven't. I've just done the one, and that was because it was on post. So that was very convenient.
Are you doing like Amazon ads or anything like that?
She's just winning contests, Ro.
Well, yeah. We'll get there eventually. I want to get rid of all the other answers first.
We tried. We did some brief foray Amazon ads. Maybe we were doing it not quite right. We don't know. We didn't have a great run with the Amazon ads when we did that. We did a book bub.
No one does.
We did a book bub deal. So we stopped doing that. We did a book bub deal and that was pretty good. We did that twice. I think we did 2 different book bub deals. Those went pretty well. But then, the reality is the SPFBO thing has been the biggest marketing that I didn't, I wasn't in control of that. So
where were you when you found out you won?
I was at our house back in Fort Irwin, because we just moved, and my parents had actually come to visit and to help me out because my husband was having to do a bunch of work trips and we were packing up the house, or like starting to do the packing anyways. I guess we hadn't done a lot of packing. We were getting some stuff done, starting to think in that direction. And my parents had come to visit and they were like waiting because they're like, we want to hear the result before we leave to go home. And I was like, I'm sure the result won't come today. It'll probably be tomorrow. And then like an hour after they left, we found out, first that there was a tie, and I was like, I don't know what that means. And then they announced how they broke the tie. Adrian, the author of Mushroom Blues, before we had the official answer to what the heck was going on, messaged me and is like, how are you feeling? Because I'm feeling insane right now. We just like had a nice, like, we're both feeling like we're losing our minds chat before all of it went down. So he was very, very kind to reach out when we were both still a little confused. But yeah, I was just sitting there on the couch and I found out, and I called my parents and said, sorry, you missed it by like an hour.
All the finalists have like their own group chat, right?
Yeah, they have the finalists like Discord. They have Discord.
Yeah.
Discord. Okay. And so we talked to all the finalists last year except for the person who won. So thank you for being a winner and coming on this show. I think we were just boycotted last year for whatever reason. What do you talk about in that chat? I just want to compare it to what they talked about last year.
So initially, when it was in the early stages, of course, just anytime a review came up, we'd be like, "Oh, there's a new review," and if it was a glowing review, we'd be like, "Oh, we're so happy for you," and if it was a rough review, we're like, "That sucks, sorry." So it was more. I mean, I think it's mostly meant to be like a combination of information, like here's new reviews, here's new information, here's some marketing things. Some people talk. There's a marketing channel on there too, like if you have advice or questions about that. But a lot of it was like emotional support where people were like, sorry, you got that excruciating review that, really made your day hard, or wow, you got an amazing review. So that was probably the majority of it. But there, sometimes it would be like talking about, oh, I've got a new book coming out or other things like that. But most of it was just like everyone watching the reviews, kind of just like everybody else, just watching the reviews and biting their nails the entire time.
You all kind of read each other. Did you like read all of each other's books?
No, we didn't. Like some people do. Some people try to read all of them. I have been so neck deep in working on book 3 that I have not been reading hardly any books at all. I am behind on my Goodreads goal this year, but I do want to. There are several of the, not just from the finalists, obviously the finalists, but there's but there's some even from like the earlier stage that didn't make it all the way through that I really do want to go back and read. The Sunset Sovereign, I think that one might have been a semi-finalist, but that one looked so interesting to me. So I still think about it, and the cover's beautiful. So I have several that are like in the back of my mind for when I am done with this draft and I can relax a little bit.
You get a copy of your book? Not that book, Mike?
No, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. No, I know that's the one you're talking about. I want to see your book.
My book. Oh gosh. I should have brought. I have it. It's
somewhere.
in the other room though.
Packed up in a box.
No, it's not. Do you want me to go get it?
No.
It's right in the other room.
That's all right. We'll find a picture and put it up.
Yeah. I last time all the other ones that I've done, I brought the book with me, and this time I don't know why I didn't. I brought tea instead, apparently.
Well, that's always a good thing to use too.
So I have to show this because Ro makes fun of me because I talk about Sunset Sovereign all the time. And he's like, you didn't write the book. Why do you keep talking about it? So
I just love the sound of it. I don't know, the premise is so intriguing to me. The cover sticks out to me. That there are a couple others. There are a couple other ones that were in that I really want to read. But that was the one that I think the cover just gets me.
Do you know how much she paid for the cover?
No.
€0.
Did she do it herself?
No, her and Poppy Alexander's, they do it. It's called the Derby, where they will give you the cover for free, but you have to write the book, publish it, and market it within 90 days. So she chose this cover, and then she's like, "Okay, that's my story." There you go.
My mother-in-law brought it to me.
So.
Well,
yes,
I love it. It's beautiful.
So, yeah, I think she's crazy because, 90 days to write a book, get it edited, publish it, and then market it. Ugh.
No way.
So, but yeah, it's a great book. It was one of my 3 favorites from last year. So, yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're just solidifying that, my instincts were on point.
So, and have you got Tana the Tender Sword for your kids? How old are your kids, first of all?
They're the perfect age for that book. So that is absolutely going to be on the latter half of their summer reading. The problem though is you can't be like, you read this book. I mean, you can, but it doesn't work. You've got to like dangle it out like they're fish and it's a lure and be like, oh, look, a book. Oh, no, you can't. Oh, look, a book. And then like leave it on the shelf and leave it over. And eventually they get bored enough and they go, Mom, I want something to read. And you're like, so
yeah, you gotta tell them it's too adult for them. You can't have that. That's way too much. That's way beyond you. You can't possibly read that.
Sure for you. Yeah.
I'll show you, Mom.
You can't handle it. Yeah. So like there are so many times where I was trying to get them to read like a specific thing, like Chronicles of Narnia or some other specific thing, and I'd be like, "Ooh, read it," and they're like, "No." But then like out of the corner of my eye, I'd see them like, go grab it off the shelf and sneak off with it. And I was like, yes.
So
put a flashlight in their room so they can read under the covers.
3 times now, because I have other authors' books that I sell, and Tana is one of them, except it's my only middle grade. 3 times I've had kids who, because I give them little swords, like as bookmarks if you buy a book, and they're like, I want a sword. I'm like, well, will your mom let you buy one? She goes, no. I'm like, hey, listen here. If you buy this book, you get the sword for free. And if you go tell your mom you want a book, she'll buy the book and you'll get the sword, and she'll never know that you pulled one over on her. And he's, oh, okay. And then they come back and I'm like, oh yeah, you get a sword for free. And the kid's like, and I'm like, kid, okay, yeah, you're so clever. But
you are a white van and a bag of candy away. I'm telling you, man. Mike looks like an old, shoppy kind of guy when he's at a show. He's just, there's like freaking 200 books all over his table. And it's like walking into a damn bookstore. It's like, good God.
Hey, there are worse vices to have.
Oh yeah.
The book vice is I'm the same way. My books just end up piling up everywhere, and my kids love to read. So that's all I have to say about that. That makes me happy. So
movers must love that. They walk into a house with a bunch of bookcases and they just kind of go, oh.
Hey, we did all our own moving actually. So I had to.
Oh, you did a Diddy move? Fun.
Oh,
it was not fun. It was not fun.
No, it's horrible. No, let them do it. It's like, off you go.
So when I moved to Virginia 23 years ago, it was the first time I actually had movers because the company paid for me to move. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, that's it. I'm never moving myself again. And then I saw how much it costs to pay for movers. And I'm like, that's it. I'm never moving again.
Yes. We have to move, like, basically the average is, I think, 2 to 3 years. So
yeah, we were every 3 years.
Yeah.
And most of ours were overseas moves. So they were.
Ooh, we haven't had to do that. We've been all stateside. So I'm pretty grateful for that. Not that it wouldn't be cool to go overseas, but for logistics sake and 5 kids, that would be a challenge.
You need to get up to Alaska.
We haven't done Alaska. We were in North Carolina. We were in Kansas, California, Tennessee, and we kind of just done the rounds with those ones.
So how old is your oldest?
He's 10.
And your youngest is?
And they're twins, and they're turning 5 next month.
So you have 5 kids in a 5-year period.
Pretty
5. Ooh.
Yeah. It's about 5.5 years, but yes. If you have twins, it exaggerates everything.
You dollar cost average everything out like that, though. So I can just use this twice. Yay.
Have you thought about the fact that you're going to have 5 teenagers all at once?
I think my God. All the time, because 4 of them are boys, and they're already eating so much. I don't know what I'm going to do. Because it's gone to the point where things like maybe I would cook it and we would have plenty leftovers. Now I would cook that same amount and there's no leftovers. And they're not teenagers yet.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Growing up as the youngest of 7, I feel your pain there. I don't know how my parents fed, because my brothers would eat cereal out of a cake mixing bowl.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm one of 6, so my parents they did it somehow, and so we're just gonna just do it.
5. That's that. Wow.
Oh, Dan, don't even start. My God. That's my brother. Just ignore him. He was in the Navy twice. What does he know?
Too much sun in his head and too much, ingested. Anyway, Michael.
Yes.
What do you think?
I was just going to say, because I was going to ask first, I know you're going to keep writing. Are you going to write a world where you actually have fantastical creatures? Because I don't think that it's just humans and no magic, right?
Yeah, for very low magic fantasy. And that is a great question. And I've thought about that. If I want to veer, like stay in that like almost low magic, non-magic area of things, which feels more historical, or if I wanted to go a different direction. I actually have a straight historical fiction that I want to write someday, but that requires mountains of research. And it's going to take me a long time to figure that one out. But I don't know. I honestly don't know. I've been in this one story so long. I've been in this story so long that I honestly am a little worried that when I finish, it's going to be like head empty, no thoughts. Like, is there anything else in there? Because this has been consuming me for such a long time. So I will be curious to find out which direction I go, because I honestly don't know.
Will the trilogy be the end
of this story? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it might be fun to do some novellas like and stuff like that for fun. But I specifically, one of my brothers, he wanted to, one of the characters named Azetla, there's all this reference to his growing up in this battalion, but you don't see it. He's already grown. He's a full-grown adult by the time you meet him in the story. And he's like, I want to see him as a young man and as a child growing up in this battalion.
Oh, yeah.
And so I promised my brother that I would write that story for him. So even if I write it and it's not great, I'm going to give it to him, if no one else. And then if it's okay, I'll publish it.
Tell me what you think.
I have plenty of takers. Before we go to the Bald Dome, I do have to ask my question and get very disappointed. So here's a question for you.
All right.
Imagine yourself going down the main drag of your city. You are in a saddle. You can either be in a saddle that's on a T-Rex or on a griffin. Which one do you choose and why?
Okay. Griffins can... Am I mixing up animals? Griffins can fly, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And not in any way trying to, make you choose something else.
Okay. I want a griffin. Sorry.
No.
Nothing to be sorry about. Mike just has not learned his damn lesson.
If you give a flying option, what do you expect?
Exactly. Thank you.
As I always tell people, what I want is the T-Rex, because I've lived in Virginia for 23 years now. And I want the T-Rex to grab the cars for the people who are in the left lane driving slow and toss them into buildings. And we did have one author who said there needs to be an intervention for me here, but clearly, no, he's not driven in Virginia. Or, he would know.
I think griffins could do
I do love Jurassic Park, but I don't want to ride a T-Rex. If I could ride an animal that would fly, that would, yes.
Okay, fine. We'll continue the show, even if you chose wrong.
But did she, Mike? Did she really?
And I dropped it. Okay, so
Team Griffin.
Yeah, there we go.
What we're going to do now.
I've learned how to do something new.
Okay, so we're going to transport Azetla to a new setting.
Okay.
So we can learn more about him without giving away spoilers, although honestly...
Hey, wait a minute. I didn't get to ask my question.
Oh, please, go ahead.
Have you read/watched the Harry Potter series?
Yes, read and watched.
So
and my kids are reading it right now.
You enjoy Harry Potter?
Yeah, I don't know that I've reread it as an adult. When I tried to reread as an adult, I didn't enjoy them quite as much, but when I was a kid, I was mesmerized. Loved them.
Okay, so who is the actual hero of Harry Potter?
Neville Longbottom.
That's the most popular answer.
It's the most popular other answer.
I love Snape personally, and I do think he's a hero, but he's also a jerk. Whereas Neville Longbottom's a hero and kind.
But he had one moment.
He did, but it was a good one.
Yeah, but Snape did that shit for years.
Okay, I'll tell you this. I have a story about this, and this is important, and all my siblings need to listen to this because this is about vindication. So we were all reading the Harry Potter book together, when they were coming out, as kids. And when we were by late teens, and we're all getting ready to leave the house, right? And the second last book had come out. and people who haven't read Harry Potter, this is like a hinting at a spoiler, and Snape did what he did. And all my siblings are like, see, Jamie, he was always a bad guy. We told you. And I was like, watch it. He will still be a hero, and you will all have to say sorry to me. And I was right.
He absolutely was. Dumbledore was a child endangerment kind of guy, and Snape held it all together.
I also love Ron Weasley. Of the trio, he's my favorite.
He's the scruffy comic relief. So
okay, so now,
all right, thank you. Both good answers. And Mike, yes, she said Snape. So, nobody picked your stupid T-Rex.
Okay, so Azetla is going to enter the Bald Dome.
Okay, what is that?
That's where characters go to die because Mike can't roll a dice.
Okay, got it. So this is like a D&D situation?
Kind of like yeah. So basically, we want to learn more about Azetla. We don't want you to give us spoilers.
Okay, no spoilers, just his character, how he would behave, kind of.
So we're going to put him in a brand new situation, in a fantastical situation, and then we're going to say, tell us the story, Jamie. How does this story end?
Oh boy, okay.
And I will tell you now, it's not canonical, so if he should happen to die here, that doesn't mean you'd say, sorry, everyone, book 3 has been canceled.
I'll stop right
He died in the Bald Dome. We can't do anything about it.
It's not,
that'll just be the last line I write where I am in my manuscript right now.
Okay, so Azetla's transported away, far, far away. What is your favorite color?
Brown, believe it or not.
Hey,
brown.
We haven't had brown before. So Azetla has a brown fizzy potion. It is 100% effective. You have no idea what it does, but it's 100% effective when it's used. And now he has been transported to 16. Let me get to 16 here. The Celestial Garden. Floating in the void, an island of flowering trees glimmer with stardust. Comets soar overhead, blossoms glow with the soft light of distant galaxies, their petals drifting weightlessly through the cosmos. Among the roots of the celestial oaks, orbs of pure starlight and golden petals lay in the clusters, guarded by shimmering butterflies with wings like fragments of the night sky.
Wow.
So
Mike had a couple of gummies the other day. Pick that right out.
No, that's ChatGPT. I don't use anywhere near that many adjectives. So anyway, so he is there in the celestial garden with the butterfly, blah blah blah. He has his brown fizzy potion, and now we're getting to the heart of the matter, where he is going to have an altercation with something else.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't have to be an altercation.
He's going to have a meeting with that could end up poorly or
either way. Okay.
Right. So the choice you have to make for Azetla now is, does he want a common item or does he want a weapon? If he chooses a common item, he'll face a common animal in this crazy ass place. If he chooses a weapon, he will face a fantasy creature. Which does he want, a weapon or a common item?
Oof. I mean, I want to say he should have a common item, so to have the lower risk. But the thing is, he would want to have a weapon. He would not feel comfortable if he didn't have a weapon. So he would just choose that. He'd have to.
Okay, he has a 5-foot-tall warhammer. I really wish you would have gone with the common thing. You would have got 5 fist-sized pieces of hardtack bread.
Well, that would have been helpful.
But instead, he has a 5-foot-long warhammer. So now he is going to face, instead of a hyena, he's going to face 18, which is, what is 18? A gigantic golem.
Oh, boy.
So he has his warhammer. He's facing a golem. Ro, what kind of golem are we facing?
Is this like a classic golem that you can, because you can
hold on, Mike.
Made of stone? Yes.
Or are they, there's clay ones, and I think there's like a way to stop them that I have to think about.
Give me a minute. I didn't know there was going to be homework.
So I actually have never played D&D. Ro used to be a DM, so he has to jump in here and save the day.
30 years ago, man.
I don't play D&D, but my husband writes games for like simple D&D games for my kids. So he actually knows all those things because he writes the scripts and he creates the scenarios for my kids and does games with them. But I don't. So like I said, he's the fun one. So yes, golem. Yeah, that's what I thought. Golems are made of clay.
Well, they don't have to be.
Okay, they don't have to be.
They could be made of stone, whatever. But it turns out that I wrote a list of 4, and clay is what came up. So run with that.
All right.
Okay, so a gigantic clay golem is now traipsing through the celestial garden, swatting at the butterflies with night sky wings, whatever that even means. And it's coming, it sees you, it stops, tormenting the butterflies, looks straight at Zetla. They lock eyes. What happens next?
Well, before you start, for anybody who hasn't read your book, what is Zetla's? I mean, what are we looking at? Are we looking at Peter Dinklage or Hulk Hogan or what?
He's maybe like of average height, but he's not a giant. He's regular human dude. But he's fit and strong. He's a soldier and he knows how to fight. So.
Okay. Does he know how to use a battle hammer?
I mean,
swing it.
You're gonna find out because it sounds like a big one.
I mean, yeah, swing. So, and because people don't trust me, that they think I'm making up my rolls, I now have my little thing, and we'll do the camera, so you will see the rolls. You will see that I do really roll below 10, 75%
all
of
the time.
Okay,
it's crazy.
So they're like close. How much distance do we have?
They're like 25 feet apart. So they just looked at each other. The golem, like I said, he stopped swatting the butterflies. He's just looked at Zetla and his warhammer and that brown fizzy potion. And he's really drawn towards the brown fizzy potion because he's made of clay. So he takes a step he's zeroed in on that potion. He wants that. He's going right for it. What does Zetla do?
All right, he is going to put the potion in his back pocket, and he's going to stand his ground and wait for it to come to him. Okay,
it approaches. It's now 8 feet away. 2 more steps and be chest to chest almost. What does Zetla? Does it continue to wait?
What is this golem carrying, Mike?
It's just with its fists, right?
With its fists. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So as it gets right within his space, I think he's going to swing for the legs. It's clay.
Alrighty.
It seems like you might be able to do something.
Okay, and everyone, I rolled a 1.
Oh.
You all thought I was lying.
So he swings for the legs. The hammer doesn't have any kind of grip on it. It's just made of, metal, and it slips right out of his hand.
Oh my gosh.
He does slap it across the kneecap. Mike, give me a 12 or better so that he doesn't fall down.
19.
Oh, a beautiful pirouette save, and he's out of range. So, yay.
Okay.
Doesn't have his hammer with him, but
Yeah. All right. Man, I don't know. I don't know if I want to Hail Mary this thing and go ahead and drink the potion right away, or do I throw the potion? I mean, am I supposed to?
You can do either one.
You can do either one.
I am for sure gonna make the wrong choice here. All right.
There is no right choice.
Yeah. So he throws the potion at the golem.
Okay. It is the Flameheart brew. It allows the drinker, or in this case, the person it's splashed upon, to become immune to fire and to project flames from their hands.
Oh no.
Run away, run away, run away.
Now there are, starlight gold stuff, all around. So maybe you could take those and throw it at it and distract it. I don't know. I'm trying to help here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in pretty deep. I don't know that there is anything that can help me from here. All right. So he runs and tries to grab his hammer, I guess. Can I do that? Is that
sure? Yeah. Let's call it a 10 or better because Mike is rolling.
15.
Yeah, dives and grabs it and
get some distance.
okay. You're going to run for distance, but the golem's got to figure out what he's got here.
I mean, he doesn't know that he can do fire.
He's going to find out. But this first time will make it really difficult. He needs a 17 to hit you because you're moving and he doesn't know what he's doing.
All right.
Is the golem doing the knife hands?
He's doing the fire hands.
17.
17. Nice. Okay. So you are hit with a little bit of fire, but it pushes you further away from him, so that's good.
Yeah. This is going very well.
Get a little singy on the back. I hope he didn't have any hair he was really attached to.
I think he's not worried about that at this point. This is pure survival. So yeah, sure. He's grabbing some some of the weird local glowy things and seeing if he can do anything.
They glow.
What are these things, Mike?
Oh, now I have to find it again.
I might guess they don't do anything, but he's going to try anyway. He does not give up.
Okay. It's a celestial. Where did you go? I can't find it. There it is. Orbs of pure starlight and golden petals lay in clusters, guarded by shimmering butterflies.
I mean, that does not sound dangerous at all, but he throws it at him anyway.
Golems are not the smartest, so
Yeah, and they're fairly big, so 12 to hit.
11.
Of course.
I'm starting to see what you meant about the rolls.
So he throws an orb of pure starlight right by the golem's head.
Oh my gosh.
The golem is looking at his flame hands, thinking that was pretty cool.
All right. So as Etla runs in, he swings for the legs again. I got no other moves. That's like my only move. There. What else is there?
You're going to run in and swing for the legs again.
Mm-hmm. It's not fire. He's not immune to a hammer.
Jamie, I hate to say this, but I'm going to have to. Go ahead, Mike, and roll. 13.
5.
5. The golem sidestep and you run right by like Daffy Duck.
Oh gosh. All right. So does he have any of the kind of normal things that he would have had on him before he was transported to this place? Like his regular everyday knife or sword or any of those kinds of things that he would have had on him anyway?
Usually no, but yes.
Because
pity on me.
Well, because some authors want to be like, well, we want this giant staff of endless fireball, and like, no, we're not.
Just has a regular, very human sword.
Just like regular weapons. Sure, he can have those.
Okay, all right. Can he try and hit him with the sword?
Sure, but the golem gets a shot with the fire fist again. I think.
I figured that.
But you're ready for it this time.
Yeah, he's gonna duck under some of those.
He's going to need a 16 to hit this time. What do you need? A 17 last time?
Yeah.
Yeah, an 18 this time, Mike.
Okay, I'm using the red die for fire. Let's see what happens.
Mike's going to roll a frickin' 20.
17. So close.
Yep.
Just cinch the hair.
So he ducked and dodged, and now he's coming back in and seeing what the sword can do. He clearly can't handle that hammer.
Okay, so with the sword, what you got?
1.
I have no more moves.
You tripped over one of those little light orbs. You have landed. You're still holding your sword. You are right under the golem's bullocks.
Are we in Tea Party territory yet, Ro?
I don't know what that means.
Not yet, but give her one more jab straight up.
We had Michael Roberti here, and he kept trying to hit the basilisk, and it kept attacking him. They just kept missing, so they finally just sat down and had tea, since neither one of them could hit each other. So we're approaching that territory.
I feel like this one's going to end me. I don't feel like he's having any trouble at all.
Mike,
Yes.
She's going to push the sword straight up it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Only move left.
12 or better, Mike.
8.
I'm sorry. Your sword gets stuck in it. It's in the clay, and you can't get it out. The golem is now like bending down, looking underneath himself to see you. So his little face comes like peering down from between his legs.
Okay, so now weaponless, I roll like a crazy person away.
Okay.
Or he does.
I get, yes, Mr. Okie Dude, absolutely a debacle. I have to buy a dice, so we can't let Mike do this any longer. Okay, let's just say you're away. Let's just say your potion has expired, so the flame hands are no longer an issue. The golem is visibly confused.
Yeah, I can see that.
He doesn't know what he thinks like you're a mime or something, and you're just like miming fighting him. He doesn't know what to think.
All right,
You're throwing your weapons around.
We're gonna run and get him to chase.
Okay. And
we're going to lead him around in a couple of circles, tire him out a little bit, although he doesn't get tired, I guess, because he's a golem, but get confused perhaps. Until
he's already confused.
Yeah, we're good until we go across one of those. Didn't you say there were some of those trees with big roots or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
All right, so we're gonna lead him right there and hop. We're gonna see if we can trip him over these roots by making him chase us in circles and run over these roots and trip.
Yes, Ro.
8 or better. An 8, Michael.
It's not
5.
A 5.
It was the best plan I had.
It was a fine plan. The gods hate you. He jumps over the roots, so he's not getting caught up in that.
All right, so I'm still running. Now I'm going back to that stupid hammer again.
So Jamie, you could maybe jump off the Celestial Island and see if that doesn't teleport you back to where you were.
Is that how this works? Because I don't
we're trying usually.
Because I'm thinking if I have to roll for you to jump off the island, it has to be like a 3 or better. So,
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
If she's jumping off an island, Mike,
it's a celestial island. I would do space. I'm not doing that. Okay, so I'm running back for that hammer. Definitely won't stay in my hands. Let's go get that hammer again.
You have the hammer again.
All right, and now I'm running with the hammer. And I am dropping and trying to trip him with the hammer. One last time. One last try.
A 10, Mike.
3.
This doesn't seem entirely possible.
It's if it didn't happen every time, I would say you're right. But this is bad even for Michael.
Yeah, this is exceptionally bad.
Well, the problem is this character would not give up. I mean, he's not just going to give up. So I don't know what to do. He's just going to keep trying the same thing over. He only has one weapon to work with, and he already used up his potion, making fire.
We have to give the golem a shot at you.
Yeah.
I don't know how much damage a clay golem would do.
Probably a decent.
But let's make it really difficult and say he needs an 18 to hit you, Michael.
1.
The golem falls down. He overextends trying to hit you and falls straight on his face.
So aren't golems made? Aren't they conjured? Where's the person who made the golem?
I don't know, but now's your chance to hit it in the head with your hammer.
If there is anyone else on the island, is there anyone else on the island? Because those have to be made.
Then I guess there has to be. He's up in a tree.
The guy who made the golem is up. All right. I'm climbing up the tree. And I'm going to, and he's going to threaten the guy who made the golem to unmake it.
Okay.
He still has a knife, a regular cooking knife. That's enough.
Okay,
So-
but hang on here. You're in a tree, and we have to roll. And if you get a 5 or less, you fall out of the tree.
Okay. I already know what's going to happen.
I hope it doesn't.
8. You made it.
Thank God. Okay.
Still
So
have rolled 10.
you find the little wizard, and you're throttling him like shaken baby syndrome.
Yeah, and Zella's bigger and stronger than he's very intimidating. He's saying you need to unmake this golem.
Mike, does he unmake the golem?
I believe that he does. Do I have to roll for it, or do we just say yes, he does?
Just say yes.
You're like, let it be over.
Some of us have to get up in the morning.
Okay, good. You didn't want to see that.
And you have a show in 25 minutes,
Yes,
Mike.
you do. I'm like, it's got to be something.
So since Rose said he does, then we didn't roll because I just rolled a 2. So it would have continued. So he shakes the guy gets rid of the golem. Now there's a big lump of dirt where the golem used to be, and there's a sword stuck in there that the next king will have to withdraw from the clay.
Yeah. The next king of the Celestial Island.
Excellent. I'm sorry about all that. We were doing so well leading up to all of this.
I tried so hard, but you know what? Like I said, it's what can you do? It's bad luck.
And I invite everybody here to go to, excuse me, Jamie's website, which has been scrolling along there for the last 66 minutes. And if you haven't checked out her book yet, please do. And thank you very much for joining us. And Phil, thank you for watching the kids while she's joining us. And remember, she works. And for everybody else, if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. And Mike, when are we back?
Oh, asking me all the trick questions.
Yeah.
Uh,
So 2 days.
no, 2 days. We have L.L. Stevens. And she has her completed 5-book fantasy series, I believe.
So it's Wednesday at 7 p.m.
So there you go. And if you're still up tonight and you want to have more fun, I will be on All Caps Book Chat in 23 minutes. And I will be the one subjected to all the questions that I don't have answers for.
And
Have fun.
Tim McKay, will you be reading a section of one of Mike's books during your show?
I'm pretty sure he's not here anymore. They have to prepare him.
I hope he does.
No, let's hope not.
Okay. All right. Well, Jamie, thank you very much for being a good sport.
Thank you for having me. Thank you
for
so
joining
much.
us tonight.
And
Everybody else, thank you for joining us. What, Mike?
I was going to say, Jamie, when book 3 comes out, if you want to have a launch party, let us know.
I'll let you know. It's going to be next year sometime, but I'm working on it, so I'll let you know.
We'll even let you choose if the Bald Dome happens again or not. How about that?
That's right.
That would be helpful.
We'll let you roll the dice.
Yes. Oh yeah, that might help. But thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Wave awkwardly and wait for it to